So greetings, greetings to you. And welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I am Dr. Prasad. Well, I'm still under the weather, and I'll do my best to make sure that my voice can deliver today, because it's not at 100%, but I'll try. It's the weather. I long for the sun to come out. I am thirsty for some sunlight, for some heat from the sun. I'm thirsty for that. Look, I could not make it in Europe. I couldn't. I could not live in cold territories. I just can't. I'm what you call a hot-blooded male. I'm a very hot-blooded male. And for that, I need the sun. I need sunlight. So I'm still fucked up. And I'm miserable. I step outside and there's no sun. Just rain clouds you're seeing everywhere. Rain clouds everywhere. And it's really miserable. I'm telling you, I'm really frustrated. So it takes a lot of energy now for me to come to you. Energy that I'm reserving that will take me through until nature decides that, you know what, let's bring the sun back. But that's not for the rest of the year. This is the climate. So maybe I have to go get some vitamin D tablets somewhere to get that extra dynamism. But nonetheless, I'm doing my meditations, trying to keep my emotions calm. But in light of all that's happening around, it's not that easy. You gotta pay attention to what's circulating, what's coming out of the political world, what's coming out of the so-called international influences by way of these organizations. And I have to make my voice heard. And I'll tell you what, I'm fully aware of everything that's happening, but I decide what is relevant and what is appropriate and issues that I think that is necessary to deal with. I want to start off with something that made the news and was trending regarding this alleged conspiracy association of the Minister Indar and this terrorist attack on the gas station there in Georgetown. This idiot of a woman, this half skull or half scale or 90% scrap coolie woman who is coming on social media, obviously wanting to appear ghetto. Maybe she's an admirer of the prostitute in chief, Melly Mel, and she wants to follow that crowd. So she's joining in that kind of rhythm in wanting to associate and fabricate and being their mouthpiece of the haters of the PPP and associate this minister with this terrorism. Look, I understand that people do all kinds of things to get attention. But in this case, I don't think this was just a woman seeking attention. I think she's balancing some kind of debt she has. My theory. Because if you owe someone money and the interest that has been accumulated on that sum because of lack of payment, and the person realized that, hey, we can forget about the interest if you do me a favor. And if the favor meant going on social media and making a false claim against a sitting minister, and that will be the even square, then the person who thought that, well, it wouldn't cost her anything to do that, and she thought, since all these Negroes are doing the same thing, well, this coolie woman can do it too and she can get away with it. Because these black girls or these black women are making all kinds of claims and they're getting away with it. So, well, she's a coolie, so she'll just do it. But that was just a way of clearing the debt she has with, allegedly, with the Mohammeds. So she took the bait, made a video alleging that this man, Indar, Minister Indar, who apparently also owns the gas station, hired these terrorists to create a false flag on his gas station. To what end? To what end? They want to pass some legislation? He wants insurance money? To what end? However, she achieved her objective. It made her trend. She probably got her debt canceled, but now she's in prison. And I hope she stays there for a long time. This is not just a cyber crime. I listened to her video. I mean, the video that she posted. I couldn't miss it. Trust me. My My inbox, TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp, it's flooded with so many videos. I don't open all of them, but if I see something that is circulating on a mainstream, then I say, okay, this is important. Let me see what's there. So this one here, I had to listen to that. And why I'm saying coolie is the mentality. Nigger is the mentality. Coolie is the mentality. You see, her mentality is coolie. She has a mental problem. She's mentally sick. And this is not just a loose statement. She said, if you heard in the video, she took her medication. The morning she said she took her medication, so she was normal, which in other words, then she has a problem. Then they should evaluate her and give her some vacation at the Berbice Mental Institute or the New Amsterdam Madhouse. Let her go and spend some time there because she's mentally sick, as is most coolie people, mentally sick. Niggas are just fucked up. They're beyond mental sickness. They're mentally sick and spiritually diseased and socially fucked up. But when you find people who brandish themselves as Indo-Guyanese and they can partake in such an ugly scenario, putting themselves at risk, their freedom, their legitimacy, their ability to conduct in normal life every day. When you see they're willing to sacrifice that, they're not Indo-Guyanese, they're coolie. So that woman, she is right where she belongs, in prison, but she needs to be in a psychiatric ward. How can somebody like that operate a business? How can she even drive a car? You have to be mentally fit to possess a driver's license. They have to evaluate these people. When you come upon them when they make these claims on social media, after you arrest them, let them go have a psychiatric evaluation to understand the state of their mind, where they are mentally. But in her case, I think she's mentally sick. She's not mad yet, but she's on her way. She's on her way. And I'm pretty sure if you apply enough pressure, she will tell you that it's the Mohammeds who paid her by way of canceling a debt or some contribution for her to come out and make that video. Nobody does anything of that nature to favor the Mohammeds for free. Everyone you see coming out on social media and talking apparently in favor of the Mohammeds is not for free. Oh, I never spoke in favor of the Mohammeds. Never. So for those of you who make your comments and you say things, you are so lacking of comprehensive skills that if you watch my videos, don't just listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to my sentences, my paragraph, the context in which I make my remarks, the subject matters. Listen to the whole thing. And you would understand that at no time have I ever spoken in favor of the Mohammeds. It never happened. If you're smart enough, you'll understand it never happened. I know there are a lot of illiterate people online and they just know how to click on YouTube and Facebook and listen. That's it, but they can't analyze. They don't understand. You have to explain to them. I never did. I was throwing hints, taunting the government for their stupidity in dropping the case. I was being sarcastic, throwing it in the face of Anil Nandalal. Yes, because I was angered by the decision he made. But that should not be interpreted as me speaking on behalf of the Mohammeds. Are you kidding me? The Mohammeds? Let me boast on something. I'm boasting. I'm practical. I'm practical. I'm a realist. I ain't gonna bullshit and talk about anything is possible and fate this and fate that. You have to believe. I'm not delusional. All right? I'm practical. And being a realist, I'll say this. I would never, not in the near or the far future, even if I become president, I would never amass the wealth like the Mohammeds. Never. I don't have to believe that. It's a matter of fact. It will never happen. The main reason is I'm not corrupt. I don't have the balls to do illegal business. I don't have the balls to break the law. I cannot be bought. And I'm very afraid of prison. I mean, trust me, death is a better option than going to jail. The stigma of prison, the curse, the negative energy that follows you for the rest of your life, it's nothing to be proud of. So when you hear niggas are celebrating that they went in the pen or they went to this, curse for life. That thing was built to make sure that when you get there, you're done. You come out, you're still done. There's no reformation. It damages you for life. So anything that has a potential jail time attached to it, no thank you. So if you have to live according to the law, under God's grace, with some semblance of morality, it's impossible to be a billionaire, being a good citizen. It wouldn't happen. So I'm not looking forward to that. Therefore, On that basis, that's the only advantage, no, the only disadvantage the Mohammeds have against me, in that I'm a good citizen. They're not. So Azruddin Mohammed, can never walk in my shoes. Ever. That I can boast about. Like I said, separate the money, take his money away, put Azruddin there as Azruddin, and forget the doctor stuff. Kenny, Azruddin, the two of us. He is a junior and a boy compared to me. He will never, ever achieve my status without his corrupt money. Never. So I don't have to speak in favor of that thing. There's nothing there that is enticing, that I want to be, nothing. So let's make that clear. So since we have a reasonable judge who had to come back and say, hey, I have to set the record straight on the GRA's ability to recover stolen taxes, to set records straight, thanks to the president and his vision in bestowing upon that Roxanne George, is it Roxanne George, who made that declaration. The GRA would have been, how do I put it, handicapped for the unforeseeable future based on the decision of the Gino Prasad judge, who said they cannot go back and deal with that case. That's the strength of the judiciary in Guyana. When some idiot judges performs a miscarriage of justice, the smarter ones have to come and correct their mistakes. But it's good that the vision of the government appointed the right people to recognize when these idiot judges are compromised, to say, no, you're here to serve the law. So the GRA must recover stolen money. And I'm standing with that. Notwithstanding, if the idiot Attorney General had done his job the first time, we won't have all this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The Mohammeds would have been in America already. And he's still doing damage control. He's still trying to convince the public that he was right. Still trying to debate it. And nobody's paying attention to him. And Nandala, nobody's paying attention to you. The whole system is turned against you now. It's out. Now people can say you are in fact working for the Mohammeds. Now people can say you are working for the Mohammeds, and you can't be upset with folks if they say that, because it's your fault. The same judicial system that you are the head of came out and said, no, you're wrong, and you're the boss. You embarrassed your president. You embarrassed your vice president. You embarrassed the legal system. Everybody is consistent but you. You are the only one who knows the law that you know, but nobody else seems to know it. So I want to applaud that judge, Roxanne George. Of course, the GRA must get the right estimates. Shit happens all the time. You go to buy something and somebody overcharges you. You get a second opinion. You can sue the person. Say, hey, no, you inflated the price. These are things that happen. The laws are there to protect consumers. So you mean that the laws can't protect the GRA? They let you go, okay, this is what you say, okay, fine. Give us the document. The agents in the GRA, they are there to investigate all the claims. And if they find discrepancies, they come after you, say, hey, come. You still have this balance. It's not over yet. You can't be a part of the conspiracy to defraud the country. You work for the government, Anil. The government worked for the Guyanese people. So anything that is there to defraud the government is directly defrauding the Guyanese people. The opposition don't work for the government. The opposition don't work for the Guyanese people. The opposition work for themselves. And if you have to endorse and explain or justify a ruling that favors the opposition, then you are not a patriot to your party, your government, or your country. And I insist, you should be fired. Mr. Nandalal. So Minister Indar, you were appointed by the president for the cabinet, for the ministry that you are affiliated with. The country voted for President Ali. President Ali voted for you in confidence. He's certain and he's sure that you will do the job. We trust him to make right decisions, to put the people that needs to be put in places so they can function efficiently. And in so doing, you're one of the persons, Minister Indar, that was selected or recycled by President Irfaan Ali. So it is my position on this platform not to come to your defense, but to extend my support to your capacity as a minister. I don't know you as a person, and I'm not interested in who you are as a person. But the threats that were made against you in the capacity as a minister, that concerns me. Because that will affect your ability to deliver services that you are entrusted in by the president, who by extension were entrusted with that responsibility by the Guyanese people, who by extension, I'm one of the persons who helped to make that possible. So your safety, your security, and your efficiency, of course, is my concern. So you need to make an example of that idiot, Annie, who came on social media and made those threats and made those allegations. Make an example of her and make sure she confesses who paid her to come and make that video. Make sure she gives a report as to who paid her. She is stupid, but she's stupid with a price tag. Because I say again, Indian people, you can't buy them. They will buy you. Coolie people, they work for a fee. You get that? Okay. Moving on. I didn't want to bother with this white man's propaganda when it comes to the European Union's so-called 2 months after report on the elections in Guyana. But like I said, I saw how much it concerned the president of Guyana, and as Dr. Prasad with this platform, and I have the security and safety of Guyanese at my best interest, then I need to make a pronouncement on that. Because what these organizations are doing, they're pushing coals to an already flammable situation. The opposition and the PNC, they're looking for an excuse to do what they do best. Azruddin Mohammed and his cult, on the day of their unfortunate swearing in the National Assembly, claimed that he won the elections. He claimed he was not even sworn in yet. And he made claims that he won the elections, even after everything was finished. At the back of his head, he's the president. I mean, mental sickness seemed to be a thing in Guyana. The Minister of Health need to do more to deal with that. I mean, it's enough that you focus a lot on cancer, but you should also focus a lot on mental sicknesses. And these people from the parliament, these people who are unfortunately elected by the ghetto to be members of that esteemed house, they all should be evaluated, including the so-called leader of the Win Party, Azruddin Mohammed. He's suffering from a state of psychosis. He's mentally deranged. The boy is a lunatic. He's an imbecile, pushing the narrative still that he is the president. The Guyanese voted for him. So when the EU is going to be sucking up to the Mohammeds, I mean, I hope that the Mohammeds are not promising to be donors to the EU, because these commissions, they're non-profit and they obviously will need donations. So I hope that the Mohammeds are not eligible to be donors to the EU Commission. But I think the European Union's Commission is as useless as the United Nations. CARICOM, the UN, the EU, they're all useless, non-functional organizations. And they're wasting their country's taxpayers' money, gallivanting around the world, talking about democracy, and they're there to support democracy, when the real issues that they should be focusing on, they're not focusing on. How long is that war in Ukraine going on for? How is that going on? How is that working out for them? I forgot the window open. It's raining heavily here. Give me 1 second, please. 1 second, I'll be back. Yes. Well, I told you it's thundering out there. Anyway, the European Union. I want to share with you yeah. Union said after the 2020 elections, remember the incumbent was the PNC, okay? The PPP was the opposition. This is what they said. The same EU that is now pushing this idea that the government under President Irfaan Ali took advantage of its position as a government. This is in their 2020 report. Electoral context and competitiveness. The EU said 2020 elections were competitive and parties could campaign relatively freely, despite a very polarized political environment. Use of state resources. Oh, that's the PNC now we're talking about. The EU noted misuse of state resources by the ruling coalition. In 2020, that was APNU plus AFC. In campaign-like contexts, specifically, they observed development programs, government-funded projects being used in a way that favored the incumbent coalition. They also noted in-kind vote buying in indigenous communities by both major parties. Media bias. State media showed open bias in favor of the ruling coalition. Private media also tend to take partisan stances in favor of their coalition. I'll stop there. I want you to understand something. The elections 2 months ago was the first and to date the only free and fair elections Guyana ever had. The first and only free and fair elections Guyana ever had. No violence, no corruption, no animosity, none of that. But all the claims they're making that the government used projects that favored them, that's the same claim they made with the PNC. Now tell me something, folks. You got a girlfriend, right? And you are known to treat her the best way you can. You know, you're known to do your best to make her happy, to relieve her stress as a man. And then you have an issue. Maybe you go and you fuck some side chick, you know, stuff like that. And she's upset. Like most women would be. See, women are selfish, you know, women are possessive. Even if it's not their man, they still want to own the dick. I mean, a man can have his wife, and he has a side chick. But the side chick is still going to be jealous of him if he fucks another woman, forgetting that he's already fucking on his wife with her. But if you fuck another woman, she is pissed more than the wife. Women. Now, so the guy might go on, you know, typical men, you know, it's like, oh, whatever. She get upset, she goes to her relatives, and the man comes back and he says, honey, don't worry about it. Remember, I always buy you nice things. I take you to the movies. I get you KFC. And he reminds her of the good things he did for her. There are some relatives who would say, girl, don't let him bribe you with that. He is supposed to do it. Don't forget he cheated on you. You can always get another man to buy you stuff. But if you go back, once a cheater, always a cheater. The man has to use the merits of his actions towards the woman to win her back. He has to remind her that, hey, I was always nice to you. So if you want to screw up your future because of what I do in my dick, and you're forgetting that all these shit I did for you that you couldn't do for yourself, if you want to ignore all of that and be angry with my dick that is in my body to go with somebody else that you haven't proven yet, then go the fuck free. But if she remembers and said, yes, you know, you're right. I can't ignore all the nice things you did, all the wonderful things you did. No, you're right. I'm sorry I overreacted. I'm sorry, and you know, let's make a back. That's a smart woman. No, that's what the Guyanese people did. EU, European Union, that's what Guyana did. The Ali government had to remind Guyanese that compared to 2015, 2020, what his administration did in 3 years, because 2 years you got to cancel that, COVID, it is worth extending the mandate for the PPP because he says, hey, look at what we did for you. We delivered on our promises. We built the country. We boosted the economy. We boosted salaries. We extended the lifeline. We encouraged growth. This is what we did. How is that wrong? Every fucking country does it. Look at the Americans. Donald Trump did it. Look at the UK. Look at Canada. Every country does it. If you are in government and you are faced with an election, you have to remind your citizens, because people forget. That's human beings. People forget. You have to remind them. You have to show them, hey, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. So people can say, oh yes, you're right. They made a difference. We need to extend this government. Every country does it. Why the fuck you always singling out Guyana? And they make this thing seem as though Guyanese are such imbeciles that every time they have to come in Guyana around elections time to watch over these children, these amateurish politicians who don't know what the fuck they're doing. So the white sugar daddies and mommies have to come to Guyana and keep all these folks straight and lecture them as to how they should run the country. They forget that they're the ones who conspired with Burnham, who destroyed the country. They backed Burnham against Chedi. They're forgetting, oh, we didn't forget. EU, we didn't forget. We know that Europe and America conspired with Forbes Burnham against Chedi Jagan because they claimed he was a communist. We didn't forget that. Now you come with your hypocritical self to lecture a booming economy, a peaceful country, about how to run in elections. Go lecture the Americans. Go lecture the Middle East, your big daddy there. Go lecture all these other countries that are rigging elections. Go lecture them. You always seem to be siding with the PNC. All of them. I don't know what they have against the PPP. All of these observer, the so-called observer nations. As long as I know, every time there's an election, they always seem to have something negative to say about the PPP. But when it's a PNC time, you don't hear nothing. I know they're jealous of the young president. I know that. And I'm sure the president knows that too. So they will never paint a picture of perfection. They're supposed to be credible. They're giving support to these Mohammed camp for what? If they like the Mohammed so much, let them go lobby for them in America there against their sanctions and indictment. Let them go do it there. But it is sowing discord in the Guyanese community. But all these claims that they're making against the government, it is useless claims. A lot of people who will use their platform to favor the talking points about the issues with elections They were not financed. I wasn't financed. So you talk about private media. I'm a private media. Nobody financed me. And I had a more impact than a lot of people on the elections. But who financed me? So if you're saying that the government used state resources to finance private people to push their message, then I'm one of the private people who had a very, very strong message and a very powerful impact that was not financed. So I don't know where you got your data from. I don't know where you got your information from, EU. But the PNC and the WIN people, of course, they openly said it. That they bought votes and they paid. They openly said it. So why are you always looking at the issues with the government? It's as if you're giving legitimacy to the claims from the Mohammeds, the claims on the PNC that the elections was rigged. You start off by saying it was free and fair, it was this, then leave it as that. Do you like the guy? Yes or no? Yes. Good. Do you like the guy? Yes, but what? You either like him or you don't. The elections was either fair or it was not. Don't send mixed signals. The elections was free and fair. President Irfaan Ali won free and fair. End the subject. Fucking recommendations. You're recommending shit for years. For years you're recommending shit. But still you can't fix Europe. You can't fix America. Why don't you go observe the American elections? Observe the elections in Europe. Go observe in those countries. You're coming to fuck up Guyana. Every time you're running there. For what? Who is paying for that? When all these organizations go to the country, who is sponsoring them? Is Guyana donating to the European Union? Is Guyana a part of the EU? No, Guyana is CARICOM. Organization of American States, OAS. Guyana is not an EU country. What the fuck the EU doing in Guyana? The EU is supposed to be observing European Union, countries within the Union. What are they doing in Guyana? You already have CARICOM observers. You have all these fucking observers that Guyana is not even a signatory to those organizations. What are they doing there? Do you have to accommodate everybody? I'll be a dictator as president. I'll ban all these organizations from my country. I'll ban them. I don't want you there. You did enough damage in your colonial days. When Guyana was destroyed and Guyana was having all these issues, you weren't there. You put travel advisory for your citizens. Don't go to Guyana. Don't this, don't that. But now Guyana is booming. You're showing up as hypocrites as if you are contributing to the stability of the country. You're not next, you have nothing to do with it. But you want attention. I would ban them from partaking in any elections in Guyana. Don't observe shit. Observe from the internet. Watch online. You don't have to be there. You're wasting the EU's money. Stay in Europe. CARICOM is useless, but let them useless CARICOM countries and whatever, let them go and do what they got to do. But you always have some negative shit to talk about. The man is president. The PPP won. Guyana wanted the PPP. They got the PPP. Now shut the fuck up and let the PPP run the country. They have 5 years to do it. Make your report at the end of 5 years. But for now, well, of course it's done. But the PNC and the others, they now begin. Now they begin. They're going to prolong this EU stuff, I don't know for how long. Now they give bench cop some talking points and Burke and this prostitute Smelly. Yeah, she's a fucking prostitute. Bench cop is also a prostitute, and fucking Burke. They're all prostitutes. Yes. Tell them I said so. All they got to do is prove that they're not. That's all they got to do. Now they have talking points. Oh, the EU said this and oh, the EU said that. Well, let the EU go and represent the Mohammeds in the federal court. Yes, because the next date is coming for the next hearing. Is it the 26th, right? Yeah. The 26th. Now, I hope that they remove the case from that magistrate. Remove the case from the magistrate. Let another magistrate hear the case on the 26th. Let Guyana have a decent Christmas for a change. We just had a great win. Let's enjoy the Christmas this year without any distractions and hindrances and confusion. I mean, come on. The Mohammeds want some peace. Send them on the 27th. Let them go to America and they can have some peace in the federal prison. They will have special meal on Christmas Day. They treat them prisoners good on Christmas Eve Day. Just let them go. They're begging to go. Let them go. Remove the case from the judge, the magistrate. Investigate her and this Gino Prasad guy. Write them up to the Judicial Service Commission. Find out what's happening with them and the Mohammeds. Follow the money. Follow the money. Fire Nandalal. Put this guy, what's his name again? Dattadin. Sanjay Dattadin. Put Sanjay Dattadin. Trust me, you put Sanjay Dattadin as the Attorney General and you will see how fast you will get dossier on those judges and magistrates. You will see how quick you will get all the secrets and information you want to find. You will see how quick you'll get it. He's like the FBI. The guy is smart. He knows how to investigate. That's the kind of person you need to head the Ministry of Justice. Sanjay is your guy. Retire Alan Nandalal. Give him a position at the office of the president. Yeah, let him be a legal advisor to the president. You know, private attorney stuff and things like that, but not attorney general. We need to have a peaceful Christmas. Let the Mohammeds go and enjoy federal prison. They like it. Like I said before, his feet are too small for my shoes. And my jeans wouldn't fit him. Yeah. Too big. So understand, I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone. I do what I do because Guyana is my concern. If and when the president screws up, I'll talk about it. Or anybody for that matter. But you don't try to push any conspiracy that threatens the stability and safety of Guyana. You don't do that. If you're going to be impartial and fair, then we're good. But you're going to speak on behalf of the fucking opposition and these drug dealers? There we have a problem. That's why I like Trump. You think they could have gone and you think they could have pushed something like that to Donald Trump? He would deport them from the US. You see how what he did to NATO? Yeah. Guyana is nobody's playbook. You don't go there for recreation or political experimentation. That's a real country, a real democracy, real people, a real government, and real progress. Respect it. Or stay the fuck out. Until next time. Please let the sun come out. I need the sun. By the way, subscribe to this channel, share this video, and remember your subscription, not just to YouTube, but your donation is necessary. Your support is necessary. And might I say this? You know, I can't keep things on my mind. You know, might I say this? Let me say this. Let me say this. The people who support me by their donations are Caucasian or white people, mostly Indo-Guyanese, Indo-Americans, few from Africa, but Indians, and a few Chinese. Oh yes, Chinese. They actually go to Western Union. They get out of their office. They take their cars. They go to Western Union or MoneyGram, and they make contribution via those means. Those people. Some are nurses, doctors, teachers. The average person. None are politicians. No politician. Normal citizen. As much as I know, a lot of Afro-Guyanese living abroad made contact with me many times, all excited. They made commitments, promises. Oh, Doc, you know, I respect you. Like, you say what you say, I believe what you say, blah, blah, blah. They never follow through on those promises. They never do. A few months ago, one woman, an Afro-Guyanese woman, somewhere in the US, somewhere there, she sent me an email regarding she wants to make a donation. I wasn't too, look, I'm being fair. Look, I know some of you are pissed, but let me tell you, I have to say it. Whenever an Afro-Guyanese or whoever reaches out to me and say they want to make a donation, I don't usually bother with it. I'm slow to provide information because from my experience, they bluff. They talk a big talk, but it's just talk. So this woman, I said, okay, I gave her the information. So when she sent the what do you call it again? Match number. So I thought, okay, she was so anxious and excited. Maybe it's something tangible, like a $500 or $1,000. You know, I thought so because of the whole. She's calling me and say, please, can I have an? So when I got to Western Union, And the agent looked at me. Like I said, I'm a known person. I'm well known. So they anywhere they know who I am. And the person said, "Do you know how much is it?" I said, "No." I said, "Why? Do I need a something to show that what is it, a few thousand?" She smiled. She says, "No, it's like $35." I'm like, 35 what? She said like $35. I said, but I said, okay, I'm already here. No, money ain't money. This is not, if you are making like you're like a Zeller, if you're transferring something to a Zeller, to my Zeller account, you put a 25, 35, $100, it's that, it's just, but when you're going to send, take your time to go to Western Union, and you are in the United States, and you're going to go to Western Union to send $50, and then you have to pay out of that $50 the cost to send the $50, then the recipient receives 30 something dollars. I was embarrassed. I'll be honest with you. After a while, I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with this donation stuff. So after that, I stopped talking about it. I said, I don't want a second experience like that. Okay, you know what? Then people keep calling me and say, hey, what's up? I mean, why do you stop? I said, no, but so I'm saying, and that was a black person, a black woman. All the people who have made donations in the past, Chinese, Indo-Indians, Caucasian, they have never sent less than $100. The first person who sent $35 happened to be a black person. And it was an insult to me. You see how bad it sounds? You as a black person watching right now, it sounds embarrassing to you, right? It makes black people look as though they're greedy, as though they're so broke that they can't support their own. Or is it that she's trying to be funny, or she was trying to insult me, or she's trying to like, I think it was that. I think she was just trying to find a way to get back on me for cussing black people out, or they called me a racist, or they called me a, what's the thing? Uncle Tom, and all these kinds of names. So I think she did it on purpose. Then she could tell her friends, yeah, I had to teach him a lesson. I made him think that I'm gonna send $1,000, and I just sent $35. And so if that was your intention, madam, I still thank you. At least you took the time to go to Western Union and made a $35 donation. You could have done it via Zelle. You could have just quietly did that and just forget about it. So if you are a black person, and all of you who are calling me and texting me, the Afro people, and you want to be a part of the movement, you want to support what I do, cut the bullshit. I am not going to change my rhetoric. I'm not going to change my platform. I am not going to stop talking against this stupid thing from the ghetto. I ain't going to stop that. I'll still do what I do. So if you're trying to seduce me or to trick me into thinking that if I have this flood of potential donors from the black community, and and they're making all these promises, maybe I should like, hey, these black people want to support me, and maybe I should not, maybe I should talk for the PNC, or maybe I should talk for this, maybe I should talk. It ain't gonna happen. So if you want to make, if you are impartial and you are unconditional with your support, I don't want a conversation. There is a Zella account there. Just go to your, if you have a Zella, just quietly do it. Or if you don't have your Zella and you want to do it via Western Union, just quietly ask for the information. I'll give it to you quietly. I don't need a conversation with you. I don't want to get to know you. I don't want you to get to know me. No questions. Everything I say, I'll say here. No private conversation, no private chat, none of that stuff. And when you finish making your contribution, you can send me the receipt and then I'll thank you. I will thank you. But cut the drama, cut the games. I'm not in for that. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to change my rhythm or my style. So far, black people don't support what I do. So you understand that. I'm not expecting it from you people. Don't call and make promises. Okay? It's the weather. Like I said, I'm fucked up. Anyway, bye now.